everyone, and welcome back to my channel. And today I am going to do my second video in the epic Harry Potter reread. Like I showed you on my other video, I got the box set, which is actually currently down in my bedroom. I'm up in my office. And I want to talk about Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I am on chapter 4, so Hagrid just burst through the door and scared the bejesus out of everybody. And as you know, I do mark in my books. I do annotate. I'm using a purple pen for this book because the spine and the back cover is purple and I want to match, because I will do that on a book that I really love. I will find a pen and maybe a highlighter that match. I actually didn't annotate too much in the first 4 chapters. One thing that J.K. Rowling does really well is establish worlds. She very quickly establishes that there's a Muggle world and a wizarding world, and she does that really well without giving too much away. Like, there are weird people in the streets and owls flying around in the daytime, and as a Muggle reading this, you don't know what that means until a little bit later. Also, I always forget that Professor McGonagall is the first professor that we meet in the book, because she's in the first chapter, I think. And yeah, she's on page 2 in cat form, and I underlined it's a cat reading a map, and I underline that because that's the first professor that we meet. She does really well with setting. She says, you know, a dull gray Tuesday, and everybody knows what a dull gray Tuesday is. You don't have to be from the United Kingdom to understand a dull gray Tuesday. One thing that bothers me is that all of the bad characters, quote unquote, bad characters are depicted as fat and or ugly. So every time we talk about Dudley, for example, and we talk about his negative personality traits, we also talk about the fact that he's very fat. And that just kind of adds to the, you know, oh, all fat people are bad, and no, they lack self-control. And I think there are ways, I mean, yes, Dudley being fat is an important part of his character. It's an important physical description, but we don't need ugly fat Dudley punches Harry in the face. Like, we don't need that every time, and that bothers me. And Vernon is often described by his weight, and Petunia is very often talked about as far as her looks and less her personality. And while describing your characters physically is important, as any writer will tell you, I think she could have been a little more creative in how she describes these characters, rather than just ugly and fat. I haven't gotten to the point where we meet the Weasleys yet, but I think, kind of flipping through to see if it jumps out at me, I think, yeah, Mrs. Weasley, sorry, I don't know why it took so long, is called a plump woman. And again, that's kind of like a good fat, because when you think of plump, you think more positive, and, you know, fat and obese and, you know, huge are all more negative. So I think again, and she refers to her as a plump woman quite a few times, even just on a couple pages it's mentioned like 2 or 3 times. And again, weight and body type and hair color, eye color, all of these things are super important when describing your characters because it gives us a mental image of the character. But especially in the first book, I think a good editor would have kind of like marked that and be like, is there a way we can describe this person in a different way? And that's obviously not bashing JK as a writer. I think she's a fantastic writer. She grows immensely between the first and the seventh book, as any writer would. Just that this first book has a few issues with the writing. A little repetitive, a little not great, but yeah, that's the first 3 chapters of Harry Potter. I had forgotten a lot between, like I said, I think I first read Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. First read in like when I was like maybe 12 or 13, maybe 14. I bet my mom would remember because she remembers how sick I was the first time I read these books. And then I read them again about 10 years ago. But it's been a while. It's been a hot minute. But yeah, that's the first book. I keep fiddling with the book. I love it. It's so new and like it's a great cover. But yeah, tell me your favorite moments in the first Harry Potter book. I don't know. I definitely love the Sorting Hat song in the first one. The Sorting Hat's kind of a pain. Like when you go back and kind of like look at it, it's like, why are we spending so much time with the Sorting Hat? Like I understand we're building up. Oh, Harry's really nervous. He doesn't want to. We spend like pages and pages of sorting people. It's like, oh my god. But and I'm really glad that she only included the Hogwarts song once because that was a dumb song. I would be super, super disappointed in my wizarding school if my my school song was like Hoggy Hoggy Hogwarts. I can't remember exactly where it is because I just saw it. Yeah, it's Hogwarts, Hogwarts, Hoggy Warty Hogwarts. And then it talks about scabby knees, and that's kind of disappointing. As a school song, it's a little disappointing. But yeah, this book always makes me laugh and smile and puts me in a good mood when I read it. So, yeah, let me know your favorite scenes from Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or if you're in the UK or pretty much anywhere else besides America, it was Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. And it's my really bad British accent, and I'm super sorry to anyone who's British who heard that. Yeah, tell me your favorite characters, your favorite scenes, your favorite house. Tell me what house you're in. I've said this before, I'm a Ravenclaw. I tried to do Pottermore again, and they put me in Gryffindor this time, and I'm like, no, like, what is wrong with you, Pottermore? Stop it. So, yeah. And always remember to love your niffler. Have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.